What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7, and here we have another build series. This guy, it's the awesome 1/10 scale Demon SG4C. Now this is their flagship version, and this is from a manufacturer called Cross RC. So this guy is a complete kit. You need to build it all yourself. There is different models, but this guy here is the C version, which means it's the flagship. It has all the bells and whistles, and boy, it looks awesome. It's on the side here, it's 1/10 scale. So it gives you all the dimensions. Total width, total length, sorry, is 480mm, the 270mm width, and the wheelbase is 300mm. But it is hard body. I do love hard body in a crawler. You can just do some awesome detailing with it as well. But this kit speaks for itself. Now, Cross RC hasn't been around for the longest, but they do make some excellent kits, awesome scale as well, and at a very reasonable price as well. So at the top here we have a head cover in open and closed scale engine cover. That doesn't really make sense, but that's what it says. Flatbed rear carriage. It's got a scale body parts, injection molded. It's got an included cab interior, central control table. I guess that means a center console, steering wheel, etc. It's also got a built-in roll cage. You can also illuminate the lights there as well, so that's pretty sweet. It's got a headlight set, 4 headlights, 1 tail light, 2 front marker lights, and 4 off-road spotlights. At the top it says, but that's an optional part, but that's not included in this kit. But anyway, these guys, they're not a portal axle, so get that off your chest already, but they do go for complete scale realism. So you do get aluminium 1.9mm beadlock, they are CNC'd aluminium wheels, and 1.9 plastic wheels as well, but because this guy is a top of the line, it gets the aluminium ones. We also have 4-wheel drive system, pre-positioned motor and gearbox, centered transfer case, CVD metal transmission shaft, G2 axles. They do have reverse drive functions. We'll learn more about that later on. Awesome Cross RC aluminium coilover shocks, gearbox and transfer. Now it does include a motor with this, but we have a different one here. We'll show you what parts we have for this particular build. This looks pretty similar. I do like how the motor's in the front here and it's underneath that engine cover, so you can't really see, but it's got like a CNC machined transfer case as well. Really cool looking stuff, but let's not bore everyone too much. Let's just get into this build and see what else we get. So we'll just put that to the side so we can, a bit of the light gets through here, so you get a really comprehensive, user manual. Heaps of 3M tape. It's not too thick, but obviously we'll use that later on. Now this separate instruction manual, that goes through more. SG4, so this is obviously for SG4. There's different varieties of them, but there's obviously an additional one there as well, so we'll follow that later on. But you get that. I don't want to bore you too much with that. Here we have some plastic components. These are the bed. Seems like a external, like a fuel tank or something like that on the back, and also your interior components. Awesome. Some really nice looking rubber tyres, obviously. Wow, look at this. Now think about Cross RC. They make really detailed parts. Look at that winch. It's actually got steel cable in there as well. Really nice. Look at that small mesh. Sweet. Let's open that up, because that looks hunky dory, that's for sure. Actual real checker plate there. Nice aluminium roll cage. Also a lot of fine detail, and the cross brace there, that's all aluminium or metal as well. Well, check these out. So these look like some of the other internal parts. They're all painted metal as well, red, well, not red anodized, it seems like it's powder coated. Metal toe shackles, and here's that winch. Just wanted to show you that. Check out that beauty. Sweet. It's got its own little controller and everything, so it's ready to plug and play. Now, because this is a kit, you still need your receiver, obviously your radio system, your motor, the steering servo, and your motor and ESC as well. So that's that. Now there, wow. Already I can tell it's going to be a really nice kit. Here's your seats. They're already nicely in black plastic. That's nice. And your red jerry cans. Your internal mud guards. And here is this looks like some other little boards here. Now maybe that's for the internal, there's one there. That's for the lights. I presume that's for the front lights. Nice steering wheel there. Some other internal components. Revision mirror, so it's got a lot of internal detail. Now here you've got a front bumper, some interior detail. That looks like a front dashboard. That seems like it's in resin, and a nice plastic chrome plated front grille. These are metal side skirts, or what are they called? The rock rails or something like that. Beautifully numbered there, 93mm Cross RC. They've got 80.5, so these are all your links. Everything's very like a nice metallic, or not metallic, but a matte grey. There's your motor already attached, but we're going to be using something, going to be using a brushless setup in this, and there's your transfer case as well. Did I say CNC machine? It's not CNC machine in the beginning, but it's cast. Pretty sweet. More hardware. Really nice beefy Cross RC. What are these? These are, yep, it's obviously telescopic drive shafts. Wow, check out these babies. Yes, they are aluminium, except for that one. That's probably for the spare. There you go there. Really nice. There we go, nice machining, definitely there. That looks sweet. And there's the outer and inner bead. There's your snorkel. Cool, some more roll cage parts. Now these look like plastic, but I'm pretty sure they go in internally, so that doesn't really matter. And your beautiful front and rear axles. Let's have a closer look at these. Yep, so all metal. Well, they're all, you can see they're pre-put together for you. What's that word? Pre-put together, pre-assembled. Nice anodized aluminium housing there. Looks really, really cool. So hopefully we'll check them up, make sure they have enough oil in there, or grease from factory. If they don't, we'll put some in there ourselves. But wow, so far so good. Let's go back to this motor quickly. Ooh, a bit of thunder. Really nice. Still here at summer at the moment in Sydney. But it's already got this transfer case, or not transfer case, maybe like a gear reduction already attached to the motor. So we could take this motor out. So you don't need to buy a motor for this, it already comes with it, but you need to buy all the other electronic components. But yeah, there we go. And there is that transfer case I was saying before. Just take it out of the packaging. Yeah, nothing to it, but it feels nice and smooth. Now in this box, because it is hard plastic, like the Tamiya models and stuff like that, the cab is in this kind of cool primer undercoat looking colour, which I like. I'm going to leave it in this. I think maybe just add some rust to it later on, but just for the speed of the build, we'll just leave it in this colour because I don't mind it. It is a rock crawler. It's not going to be in a concourse condition. There's your bonnet, and there's your separate, you can see there's your engine cover there. That looks pretty sweet. Bucket load of rod ends, more hardware, ball ends, actual plastic for the glass. Oh, look at that, that's pretty cool. I just noticed this. You've got already pre-installed magnets so the hood doesn't flap around. Oh, there are your shocks. So you've got to build the shocks. They aren't pre-built. Shock shafts, that's not shock shaft, but these are other components. Really nice decals actually as well. See that? It's got like metallic, looks like metal. Some more super detailed stuff here. Door handles, it looks like, some grill. Wow. And yeah, some other parts here, but wow. Well guys, doesn't that look awesome? Got to get building, that's for sure. Alright, so that is the car, except won't be good without some chassis rails, so that's always going to help. There's your plastic chassis rails there, nothing to it. Obviously metal, but sometime in the comments will say, oh, he showed me everything else except the chassis rails. There's always one, but there we go. So put these away. That's the car itself. Let me show you the electronics. Alright, now all this is from Crazy Hobbies, so if you want to go check it out, I'll leave the link. I'm not going to be using that, another Osmo, but we're going to be using some shock oil. That's shock oil, nothing too crazy. It does come with shock oil as well. I just want to get some more, and it also does come with grease, so this is one from the kit. I opened up previously and I just bought some additional shock oil there. Going to be using a Savoc 7.4 volt all metal waterproof steering servo. These are really great. We use them in our crawlers. They got 25 kilos of torque, which is more than enough. Also, we're going to be running Futaba gear. So this is a Futaba R203GF for your Futaba fanboys. There's a steering or servo horn. And also this sweet new setup. This is Hobbywing brushless setup. This is the E-Run censored brushless motor AXE 1200 kV, so that's suitable for 1/10 rock crawler, so that's awesome. And this is the additional brushless electronic speed controller. This is 60 amp, more than enough for what we need, but these are great. Actually really like these guys. As you can see, how good does it look? I know it doesn't really matter about how nice something looks, but even look at that, the centered wire and all that kind of stuff. It's just really well thought out. I think enough of that. I think we actually start building this puppy and just have fun. So, hope you guys enjoy it. If you don't like build videos, then don't continue watching, but a lot of people who like seeing the unboxing and how it's built, so I thought, you know, best of both worlds. Let's kick it off like a dead leopard's head and get the instruction manual out. Okay, let's kick it off. Now the first step is just saying how to install this motor that was already installed, this reduction set, and I just pulled off this top cover because I need to install the new motor anyway. But this is how it looks. Now obviously it does come pre-greased, but I will put some more in there later on. But you pull this cover off, and as you can see, it's got this separate gear here. It's got this cool, like a worm drive pinion. So I need to take all this off, put this spacer on, the new Hobby wing one, and then put it all together. But I just wanted to show you guys, because a lot of you guys say, was it greased from factory? So I'd like to show it. Now it's got these little keys here, little tabs. This is only going one way when you rotate it. It sits flush like that, and there we go. So that's basically that's all it is. It's like a reduction, I guess, like a reduction gearbox, you could call it. But there we go, and then it says just to check it tells you how to put the transfer case together, but that's already pre-installed. I'll make sure there's grease in that as well. Don't you worry about that. So I'll get that motor on, put some more grease in here, maybe some nice marine grease. I always just basically use this stuff for my crawlers and pretty much everything nowadays. So we'll get that done, and then we can move on to this is 1, 2, 3. Step 4 will be actually putting the chassis rails together. So sweet. And just like that, now I've just got the position right. Got to make sure the height is correct, so you know it's in line with these gears in here. It's pretty hard to explain, but it's fairly easy. You just got to make sure it's in line with the internal gears there. But I've just put some marine grease in there. Everything is hunky-dory, spins pretty freely. And all you need to do now is put this case back on, and that is it. Yes, I've made sure I've Loctited the two screws that goes in here and holds down this case, and also the grub screw on the pinion. You notice it's got this nice little rubber gasket here as well. That's pretty cool. So it kind of seals it all. And all we need to do now is just line this guy up, pop these bad boys in, and we're good to go. Now, it's always lines up easier off camera, but I'll just put some of these guys in. Might not be necessary for Loctite on these, but I'm going to be doing it anyway. I'm not going to be going too crazy with it. Now, so I am using a ratchet impact gun. I'm just using it to get rid of most of the slack, that's all. And then I'll hand do it. You know, I'm not going to be wasting so much time. There we go, there. Simple as that. Now I'll just use one of these basic right hand Allens. Make sure it's all cinched up, which it is, and that is particularly part 1 and 2. Part 3 is installing that transfer case, but I'll open that up and I'll make sure there is grease in there as well. Now for you playing at home, want to see what's inside the transfer case, let's look at it together. There we go there. So it does have grease in there as well, so that's alright. I'll put a little bit of marine grease in there and seal it up. Okay, step 4 is putting the two chassis rails together. You got these two plastic parts here, which I just put in so it's easy. I can just hold it so much easier. It requires M3 by 8 button heads here, and they are black. You need 12 of them. So I just put these two together so I can show you. Now you have this is a nice metal center brace, and it's obviously going to hold your the gearbox or the transfer case and all that kind of good stuff. Now this plate needs to go in the middle. Now it can only go in one direction. You can see it's got these two holes there, but they don't exactly line up. You need to just slide it so you can see all the holes coming through. The light comes through, just like that. And once that's in there, you can't just screw that in now. What you've got to do, you can use these nice side rails. They look really sweet, don't they? So all they do, they go on either side. Simple as that. It's got to pay attention to the direction. So it's saying in this direction, just like that. So obviously you didn't need any Loctite here because it's going into plastic, but what I need to do is put Loctite on all of these. Now also on the back here, on this last hole, it requires you to put in these nice metal toe shackles. So they're pretty cool actually. And you got all the parts here, and all you need to do is you just thread that down into the other side. But I'm going to do that at the end. I'm going to put Loctite on, do that off camera. But what we'll do here now, let's put these actual sides on and get this started. Okay, so there's one side. You get the idea. I'll do the other one, then I'll show you how it looks and also put in these toe shackles as well. And just like that, it's the magic of editing. There we go there. So these are nicely put on. I did Loctite them as well. And there we go. Everything's on. The two side, or the rock sliders I guess you could call them. That's it. It's kind of looking pretty stiff as it is. There's your nice center brace there. Obviously your transfer case and stuff like that will get mounted to, but we'll find that out later on in the build. So let's have a look at step 5. Cool. Gives us I think there's different versions of, obviously you got the SG4A, B and C, so we have the C with that pretty sweet looking winch. So let's get the parts that we need here. Also we need a big plastic part that forms the front inner guards and the front bumper part as well. Okay, now with step 5, I'm going to skip it for the meantime because it requires, I'm not going to put it together in this colour. I want to prime it and paint it black because the other part just attaches to the front just like that, no biggie, no issues. Obviously we've got to glue that in there later, but I want to paint that black, and also there's some other components here that I want to paint black, but that's no problem because I can move on to step 6, which is basically just attaching this whole front end, which is the whole guard system. And just line it up with the holes, just like that. You can see the 3 holes. And we require another M310, so we're not going to be putting on this front bumper at this particular point. What we'll do, we'll put these on. It requires 6 M3. Where is it? M3 by 8, not 6. Okay, so you get the drift. 4 screws here, another 4 there, and it'll require another 2 for this front bumper, but like I said, we'll get that done after I paint it. Don't want to waste time, we'll just move on. I'll put the other 4 in, and next step 7 is actually putting together shocks. Now look, there's thousands of videos on the YouTube showing how to build shocks. I'm not going to do this, but a bit of a process to it. Nothing out of the ordinary. I'm not going to bore you with putting shocks together. So I'm going to put those 4 together, and they are dual springs, progressive spring. That's pretty cool. So I'll get this done, and then we'll show you how it looks after I put them all together. Boom! And just like that, we've completed 4 shocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. They feel really nice. You got dual springs there as well, but that's all done. Didn't want to bore you with that because that's a laborious task. Now, because this is the C version, the standard manual is for the A and B version, I believe. You have this little extra pamphlet that you get, and that is for this particular one, the C version, and all the front and rear differentials, they're all done. So, obviously it's locked front and rear diff, well, it's for crawling obviously, and so step 1, 2, 3 pretty much is all irrelevant because it's already done for you, but step 4, you have this little plate which you need to mount on each of the front and rear axles. I believe, yes you do, and that part is the same. So all we need to do here, so we'll just use the one that they have shown here. This is the front axle, so it's saying in that direction this particular mount needs to go right there, and that's easy stuff. The bags are easily labelled. It says we need bag AA. We need some cap head screws, so let's look for those cool cats. I must admit too, all the bags and all the labels and all that kind of stuff are nicely laid out. No issues yet, so we need two M3x18s. And all the bearings are all installed, full ball bearings of course. That is not 18mm, but let me find them and we'll put them in. Funny, I was talking about how everything's labelled and all the parts are here. I got to this step 4 where we're putting this bracket on top of the front axle there. As you can see, it looks pretty sweet, but I couldn't find the, well, it says 11111 M3x18. Now you need 4 up, 2 for each axle. Couldn't find them, so luckily in my stash I had them. Otherwise that'd have been pretty annoying, but it's a good thing about when you collect a lot of RC cars and do a lot of builds, you get a lot of spare parts. So I think these ones are from my X-Max, because I replaced all the X-Max screws with stainless steel screws. So happy days. So just crank these down. So there we go, that is step 4. 3, 1, 2, 3, they're already done, it's already pre-assembled. Step 4 is just actually putting that on top of the housing, and that's all, everything else is done. All the bearings are installed, the shafts are installed, everything is, it's got grease in there, I checked it out, so that is good. Step 5, well, it's assembling the rear axle and diff, but that's already done, as you can see. And we need to jump to is step 7, installing the other one of these mounts, and that's going to be using these again, and that is that. Now next step 8 is assembling the links, so the 4 links, the front and rear links, and that's all there is to it. Now there are a few of them, obviously 8 on each. I'm not going to bore you with putting them together. What you need to do is you basically get the rod and get the rod ends and put them all together and stuff like that. That's it, simple as that. So I'll finish this, and then we can jump to step 8 and put all those together. Okay, that took some time, didn't want to do that on camera, that's for sure. Now, it's got to be careful. Yes, you need to make 4 links per axle, front and rear, but some have a spacer, some don't. Like for example, the front has a spacer in one of the links here, and at the rear it doesn't have that single spacer, so just be careful. But what you finish with are these really nice looking links. Now it's got to pop all these ends in and all that kind of stuff, but all the eyelets, what are they called? Yeah, anyway, you know what I mean. So you've got to pop all them in, but now once that's done we can figure out which one we need. So I would like, well, a lot going on step 8, got to attach the shocks, got to attach 4 linkages, so yeah, that's a fair smack there. Alright, front one here, let's get it all started, let's get the screws we need, and let's kick it off. Okay, now just put these in lightly, screw them in with my hand just so you can see how it's supposed to look. So you've got all your 4 links there, now you've got your external ones are 93mm, you've got your 80.5 millimeters on the side. Now just put a bit of Loctite on here. That, and these ones, now the rear are exactly the same, so it's going to go together like that. Now one thing I noticed that it's 11111, the screw number, which is the 18mm, which is an issue I had before with this particular screw here. I couldn't find it. Now I used 15mm, I think I have on hand, which is perfect because the 18mm kind of has a bit more thread exposed. No issues here with the with that other size that I have. I'll hand tighten this one, and this should be just enough, or not just enough, should be perfect thread, because the other one looked a bit ugly, thread sticking out the bottom. So let's just see how this looks. Don't need to Loctite that because it's a, there you go, it's got, if it's focusing, it's just got enough there to grab, so that's a, that should be fine actually, should be fine. Now yeah, that's strange, so I'll probably finish this whole kit and then I'll find the and I'll find those screws. Always happens. But apart from that, that's let's move on. Now I think I'll get all the chassis done for this video because it's probably going to be going long enough as it is. Let's put them down. Nicely done. Also we need to attach the shocks, which are cool. Got two made before, and they're going to just go here, just on this lower or upper hole here. It's just saying here, trying to follow this. Sometimes it's hard to see the instructions, but it's saying upside down. It's going to go right there, and we need 15, which is the 28mm screw, which is going to go straight through the front all the way. It's a thread, so you got to thread it all the way through, but you get the idea. It's going to go pop that bad boy right like that. Sorry, it's in the morning, haven't had a coffee, and that's that. Now that's a really long. It's a really long screw, but don't have enough. Oh, don't have enough purchased on the end for a nut. So anyway, it's getting there. Okay, next step. Step 9. You got to actually attach the servo stand or bracket, you want to call it, to the top mount before. Put a Loctite on there, and she's good to go. Now I already installed these little brackets on there. That's just nothing too exciting there, but there we go. So that's all installed. Now you can see how these shocks, they look upside down. Well, that's how they want you to install them. So anyway, they're upside down. So I was getting confused when I was looking at this. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, it's the wrong way around. But that's how they want it to installed. That's how they want it installed. Sorry, shocks are on, links are on. There's another step here, 11109. It's a small screw here, and that is 40mm. That just closes off these two sections and clamps them all together, so it's nice and tight, ready to go. Now they also want to attach the front drive shaft, so let's find that guy. Okay, now here are the nice drive shafts. Front and rear are exactly the same. Nice steel or metal, whatever you want to call it, but they are telescopic. You would have seen that before. Now you need to install this side. It's got B here, and then it's got B1 on this other side just there. So that one goes towards the center of the car. This is the one we need to install onto the front. Now simple stuff here, like basic. I want to slide that in there, make sure the screws line up, and get your little pin. I keep saying pin, grub screw. It's like a grub screw pin. Now you notice on the drive shaft there's obviously two holes. One will be smooth, one will have a thread, so you want to make sure you get that thread one, and get your little grub screw and just ram it down home. Now you got to make sure for this and make sure it's all lined up, otherwise you don't want to strip out these bloody things. These are a pain in the you know what to get back out if you do strip it. So I'm going to make sure I can get this nice and seated in there. Okay, now I just jumped to step 10, which was assembling these linkages. I've done that off camera. Now step 11 is installing the servo, and it's simply as attaching it to that servo mount. But the problem is, if you don't use these included little brackets, the back of the servo will hit these tie rods just here. So you've got just the middle two clearance. Now if I didn't use these little grommets, these rubber grommets that you get with the servo, it still would have hit even with these little plastic spaces. So moving forward, I'll probably get just a thicker aluminium spacer there and get rid of those little grommets, but no big deal. And also in this step we need to install, where is it? This particular, this is the 99mm steering linkage. I'm going to attach, connect the left and right steering, so we can obviously turn, so that will help. So once that's in, let me just get this down, that's binding up against the suspension. So all we need to do, it gives you an indication on what side. You can see that these little linkages, they've got like a bow in them, like that. Now they've got to go just like this. And we need 1109, which is the 14mm. And they're just going to go right down there, just like that. And obviously it's going into metal, so I will be Loctiting that, but just for the effort of, or the spirit of time, I will do that off camera. It's another 14mm. Like, you got to be careful because there's 14, 18, like 16, 20. They're so similar, and if you don't measure it, yeah, you can. Maybe I nearly going to stuff up there on camera. So we need the smaller 51mm, and you're going to make sure that you put the rods in those specific directions. You can always change it later on, but for this one we need a 22mm. It's going to tie it all together. So see, that's 24mm. Bingo, there we go, cooking with gas. So there's a steering linkage, it's going to hook up to this linkage and make it all work and be all hunky-dory. So there we go, you get the idea. Happy days. So that is that. That's pretty much step 11 now. That's going to be installing the servo horn, tightening all these up, which I'll do off camera, and I'll also put together the back setup, the back half of the car. The linkage is the same as the front half, so I'm not going to bore you with that as well. So I'll do that. I'll put the servo horn on, and then we can actually get to installing them onto the actual chassis rail, which I'll show you now. And I've also painted that bumper black. There we go there. Looks pretty sweet. There's that nice. Okay, cool. Now we come to the fun part of actually attaching the front and rear to the actual chassis here, and that's pretty cool. Now it also, this step, which is step 14, also requires you to attach the transfer case just like that as well. But we'll put the front and rear assemblies together. Now you do need a few screws here. First off, M3 by, where is it? That one, 1112, which is a 20mm, which is this one here. So it's pretty cool. I do so far liking this build, apart from losing maybe there must be like a little bag of those 18mm screws which just got lost. So anyway, what do you do? So you require a 5mm spacer as well on this particular point. You're going to put a screw through here, and screw it directly into the plastic shock mount on the side here. Now if I can just get this in there, it's always hard to do it on camera. It's like, oh yeah, it looks easy, but sometimes it's easier because you can't get your head underneath here when you're looking, because you might disrupt the camera view. But let's see if we can get this thread started at least. Where is it? And I think after I do this bottom chassis, then I think I'll call this particular video done, because I think it's gone for long enough. Here we go, did we get it? There we go. So I want to get that underneath. There we go. So it's starting to go straight, because it's on when you're trying to screw this thread in there, it's getting held up because of this guard here. So we can push this guard down a bit. There we go, and then we can ream it home. Cooking with gas. That's it. That's what we need to do there. So I got one. Let's see, we need our second one as well. That's going to go in there. I'll do that one off camera now, and then we can start on the links. Okay, both the shocks are put in place. Now the links need to be attached through this lower hole there, and cap it off with the inner one. So it looks like that. And we're going to cap it off with a nut, and that is all she wrote. Now my camera battery is flashing, so I need to change that. I'll put this guy in. Fat fingers, come on. Okay, there we go. So get this guy off. So that's 2 links done. There we go, but you get the idea. Like a normal rock crawler, and then we'll do the other side, and it'll be it'll be how it's supposed to be, really. Nice and strong. And hopefully, we'll get the other one on now too, and then I'll wrap this particular part 1 up, because I do believe it's been going on for some time. So there you go, you get the idea. But there we go, nice articulation. It's very scale looking. It doesn't have portal axles like the TRX4, but definitely does look. Definitely looks pretty scaled if you ask me. Now the rear linkage is a little bit different. The shocks are mounted kind of inboard like that on a kind of like a upside down V, so that's pretty interesting. Now I'll do this one on camera together. The rear links go together exactly like the front ones, just like that. Yeah, so you notice that that's how they mount. Pretty interesting, I haven't seen that before, but it's what it is. All you need to do, put the 20mm screw in there, plus the 5mm spacer, just like that. And it's telling you to put it in the most inboard holes. There's 3 holes there, so you can change it. I'm just going by what it says in the book. So, simple. This goes into plastic. This brace is a plastic brace for the rear, so no need for Loctite there. There we go there. Interesting design. So, it looks awesome from the back, eh? Look at that. So it's got a lot of articulation, as you'd expect from the rock crawler. And the front is just the same. So, pretty sweet. Now, next step, transfer case. Plop that bad boy in there. That just takes 4 screws. We're going to make sure we need Loctite in that. And that is it. Is it directional? I don't think so. Let's just put everything the way the picture is, and just like that. Nice. Let's do it that way. A bit of Loctite. Put those 4 screws in. Good as gold. Okay, install the transfer case. 4 screws underneath the Loctite of that bad boy in. This is how the instruction manual tells you to do it. So if you do it this way, you're going to have one diff going this way and one diff going the other way. If I show you, a little bit difficult to see. No, you can't really see. It's got no tyres on. But this diff is spinning this way, like that way, counterclockwise. The other one is spinning, well, clockwise. The other one is spinning counterclockwise. So what you need to do, you need to take this one off and put it there. That's weird. I don't know what happened there, but that's just a little oddity I just found. No biggie, because when you look at the manual, the motor has another shaft here, which goes on this side of the transfer case, and that's it. So must be just a typo or picture. It's weird, but the motor slots in here, and this other drive shaft connects it right there. Alrighty, now I just put that plastic motor mount that holds the motor to both sides of that chassis rail, and I just connected that center drive shaft that runs from the motor to the transfer case to make things a little bit quicker. Now, obviously Loctite this, put this guy in there, and once this one's in and the motor's in, that will be part 1 of this series. Part 2 obviously will be finishing it up and doing the body, but that gives you a good indication, as you can see there. So got to screw in the motor mount just on the side, 2 screws on either side, and that's it. They are 8mm bits, 8mm, 3x8 by 4. Jeez, there we go. Looking pretty cool. Definitely a unique design. Not as the normal style, I guess. But I do like it. Something different is always good. Now just put the other one in, just so we can lock this up and have a nice closer look. There we go. Looking sweet, in my opinion. There we go. Now, next step, guys, is I think working on the body. Now that's all you really need this instruction manual for, because this is for the C variant, which I have it says the Flagship version. So there we go. Part 1 for this build. At least we got all the lower chassis done. Because the wheels, I was going to put the wheels on, but there's like a billion screws, because they are true bead locks and they have heaps and heaps of little screws. So I'm not looking forward to that. But there we go, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Leave the comments down below. If you have one of these, let me know what you've done, or if you have any problems. So yeah, interesting for me to find out as well. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified of all the good stuff coming up, including part 2 of this guy. So cheers guys, hope you enjoyed the video, catch you in the next one.